Can I call you Raj, please? Because I really wasn't sure how to say the name, your handle, but Raj, girl to girl. I agree. So there are so many different conversations in your response, and I don't know how you have all those characters. You have to tell me your you know what I'm saying, the cheat code to how are you able to respond and reply with all those characters? Okay, but focus, Latara, focus. So the black people conversation is one thing. Being a woman is the other aspect to that as well, right? So let's address the whole woman situation, the whole woman scenario, because the black people is another conversation we can have at a later date. I want to stay on topic, right? So one phrase I've retired from myself is the strong black woman narrative, period. Like, I want to be gentle, I want to be in my feminine, I want to be at ease, I'm delicate, I am a little flower, okay? I'm a princess, and I am tired of feeding into this strong black woman narrative that also is, say, twin sister to the angry black woman, right? We put her to bed, we put her to rest, okay? She's in the grave, right? And I can hear or sense, say, the anger, right, in your response, because the whole suffering aspect means, to some degree, I have to be uncomfortable. I have to be in a certain level of discomfort for me to receive my husband. Like, are you serious? That's not necessarily what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have to learn to thrive in the midst of chaos. And that also looks like suffering well. I'm not saying, oh, you want to accept breadcrumbs from somebody and that's the process to marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you got to start with the bare minimum. What I'm simply expressing is the fruits of the spirit, right? And I know you mentioned in your reply, like, you get where I'm going with the message, but I truly believe that what we have to address in this is the strong black independent woman and the angry black women or woman who are twins. And that comes from us feeling like we have to do everything alone. And I won't say feeling like, because we had to, don't get me wrong. And that's based off of systematic oppression. We want to be in a better position. We want to be able to be soft and loved, right? Not feel like we have to show up in our masculine because we've had to do so for forever. And that's understandable. What I want to speak to, though, in spirit is the foundation of it all, because that's only addressing trauma, right? I want us to really get down to the nitty-gritty and the foundation of our relationships, because if we're not built on the rock, right, then sandcastle, as soon as water comes, it's over, right? We're talking about foundation here. And this means not saying that we have to bypass, because that's spiritual bypassing, not saying we have to bypass our trauma, but wanting us to elevate past our trauma to be able to see how we can problem solve. And I understand that means that we can't bypass our trauma, but in order for us to even heal said trauma, we have to be able to have a solid foundation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, do we ever get to the point of healthy conversation regarding said trauma if we're not built standing firm on the rock? Because that means we're flighty. It means we're fickle, because everything is going to trigger us. Everything is going to speak to our trauma. And I don't want to deal with that. So one thing the Holy Spirit has revealed to me is that there's treasures in your triggers. And again, it's not being afraid to address those things and running from those things. Like, who does it really help? And if we're talking about breaking cycles and addressing generational curses, we both have to be somewhat level-headed, meaning standing on a firm rock, in order for us to be able to address those cycles. So that's what I'm speaking about when I say suffering well and also being able to thrive in chaos, because our trauma is real. You understand what I'm saying? And I agree. Yet we have to operate more, if you will, in our logic. We can't allow our emotions to drive the car, and our emotions are technically connected to our trauma. So this is one reason why what we'll try to do is completely avoid, say, someone who reminds us of where we've been, what we do, or like what our ancestors have done, what they went through. We'll try to avoid that. We'll try to go, and I'm just going to use this as an example, we'll try to go get a rich man, right? I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that at all, right? However, I get, him being able to bring you up to his level, him being able to increase your status, your rank, whatever the case may be, and you being able to, say, start off at a higher, say, financial bracket, right? But my question is then, too, in regards to, say, the curses, say, reprogramming your mind. You can have all the money in the world, and I'm going to use somebody who wins the lottery as an example. If they're broke in their mind, if they have a poverty mindset, it doesn't matter that they win all the money in the world, because they're trying to prove that now they have money, and they're needing this validation, right? Like, now I got it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna shit on everybody who, you know what I'm saying, never thought I'd have it. And that looks like us going to buy everything. We become consumers because our mindset is now operating based off of, or not now, but it's because our mind is programmed by our trauma. So yeah, you may have that rich man, and you know what I'm saying, he may have elevated you to a certain lifestyle, but is your mind okay? You feel me? How is your heart, right? Because that's what's raising our children. It's our character that's raising our children. You can get all the money in the world. You get what I'm saying? I'll even speak to, like, Mother's Day. I'm going to use that as an example, because me and God were literally just having this conversation last night. Like, we need this validation. We as women tend to need this validation just for our choice of having children, okay? But because I had a child, I want my child to validate me. So, the gifts for Mother's Day, or all this, say, extra attention that we'll want from our children, as if they owe us because we chose to have them, right? And, me personally, my stance on that is the greatest gift my children can give me is being good people. And that's based on what I taught them. So I can want this validation for provision that I've provided them all their life, which again, I don't need someone to pat me on my back for doing what I was supposed to do. It's my responsibility. But we'll want the validation for what we should have just been doing. You get what I'm saying? And yet, we've not taught them anything, right? So, do the gifts matter if you haven't trained up the child in the way in which they should walk? You get what I'm saying? It's like the best gift to me that my child could ever give me, my children could ever give me, is to be good people, have high moral standards, and be well-mannered, be respectable young men, and, just being good people, purpose-driven, men of God. That's the gift to me. That's the way I believe, or I want to receive the gift of children to me, for me, because that's based on my giving. It's not based on what they've given to me, and that's perversion, right? When we're looking for them to give to us. And I'm only using that as an example because money is not the solving factor in that situation, because you can give them all the money, you know what I'm saying, you can be there in monetary means, but again, you're not teaching them how to be good people. So how are you really stewarding that gift well? So that's what I'm talking about. It's the patterns, the cycles. But yeah, we can really go deep with this, so I'm gonna leave it there and we'll come back later. Okay, bye.